in the communities in which they're located. And they've already started to do that in advance of having a facility here. They've supported organizations here like the Chula Vista Y, South Bay Community Services, the Nature Center. They donated to the After the Fire Fund. They've given money for apprenticeship programs to the Black Contractors Association, and participate very actively. Their stars, their employees actually really get involved in a very hands-on way, in addition to financial contributions that they may make. And most importantly, in terms of the economic outlook and is the impact that they've had. We talk about figures and estimates that have come from studies that have been done here. These are the very real numbers that show the real positive impact that they've had. For example, in taxes, here you see for Opryland, 6.8 million in occupancy, 24.5 million in sales tax, 10.9 million in other taxes, and slightly lower numbers for the Texan and for the Palms, but still impressive. And these are millions and millions and millions of dollars that are going into those local communities and coming back to the taxpayers in the form of municipal services. So let me tell you just a little bit about the Chula Vista project. Again, this is not new information. This is an architectural rendering. It's a concept. It's not finalized by any stretch, but it gives you a feeling for the kind of direction that they're going in terms of architecture. I have to point out, we have an illustration here that's done. It's called a massing illustration. It's really important to point out that that is completely absent all architecture. That just shows you the mass of a potential, approximate mass of a building. It looks like a horrible 80s office complex, and that's not at all what we're talking about. We're talking about something that would be much more lovely and something in this direction. This, as Teresa pointed out, Gaylord comprises only about 7 or 8% of the entire Chula Vista master plan area. In this illustration here, and perhaps afterwards you can come up and take a closer look at some of these graphics, but if you can see this illustration here, Gaylord would be located, can't stretch too far, in the purple area called H3, right here. So that's the approximate site. I'll show you another illustration of that. This diagram is located in this location here. So the master plan is really expansive. And, thank you very much. The master plan includes so many wonderful elements that we're not going to go into detail about tonight, but Allison, you'll probably touch on some of them. But it really brings new public parks, bikeways, trails. It restores habitats, creates incredible habitat preserves, new recreation areas, and just an incredible range of experiences and places for the public to enjoy and for nature to be restored. And that really was the vision of the plan. Gaylord is proud because hopefully the hotel will help to make that a reality by providing some of the revenues needed to really realize those improvements. This is the site as I showed you on the other map. The dark green indicates where that existing waterfront park is. The RV park is located in this area currently, just north of the marina. And as you can see, the park will be expanded further than what it is today, so it'll be larger, and it'll also connect to a new signature park, 18-acre signature park, that will be located to the north of it. You can see the Goodrich site and the marina. H Street will become the new entrance, so you'll get off the freeway at H Street to come into this grand arrival to the bayfront. They're going to be a little bit just to the due east of the marina, this location here. So I'm juggling a pointer and a clicker down in that area. And we have some better maps that we'll show you in the next presentation. We'll have more at that housing, so we'll be able to see. It's the facility would be 1,500 to 2,000 rooms. It has, as I mentioned, significant state-of-the-art meeting space, but none so large as to really compete directly with the San Diego Convention Center. Not larger than 200,000 square feet in contiguous space, just over 400,000 square feet in meeting space altogether. With, as I said before, restaurants, nightclubs. There's a lounge that would be at the top of the tower, so it'd be a lovely place to go and take friends and go on a date with your husband or your wife and have a really nice time with entertaining guests. There'll be a full-service spa, retail offerings, swimming pools, and right now, based on our experience in DC, we think the costs are actually in excess of $900 million, probably approaching $1 billion. That's a significant private investment in this region, and something that, again, would have significant economic benefits, which I'll talk about in just a minute. Here's a nighttime rendering. Again, this is just conceptual, but it should give you a little bit of a feeling for what we'd like to create there. And the environment is such a unique part of this bayfront, of course, and there's been incredibly important discussions about how to make this a unique ecological environment. And that's something that Gaylord understands and respects. So they're incorporating smarter design. They're looking into state-of-the-art energy technologies and things to be energy efficient. And recently, you may have seen in the Union Tribune, they've committed to seeking LEED certification for the hotel. And for a facility of this size, that's a very, very significant commitment. This would be regular LEED. No. There are only, at this moment, about, I believe, I've seen a spreadsheet from the U.S. Green Building Council, I believe 10 hotels that are LEED certified. I believe none of them are the size of this facility that we're talking about. Only one is gold, and that's the highest of any hotel in the country today. So and I believe that the Pacifica project is going to be seeking silver for their, is that correct?
We've committed to LEED certification,
okay.
But we haven't.
Okay, I don't want to misspeak or overcommit you, Allison, I apologize. Native and drought-tolerant landscaping, and of course, because this is a bird flyway, we're going to be using every technique that we can in terms of selecting glass, lighting, location of plant materials to make sure that we minimize any possibility of bird strikes against the hotel and the windows. The economic impact is an important story for Chula Vista here locally. In the construction and development phase, we estimate $1.3 billion in economic impacts. Nearly 10,000 jobs are estimated to be created, both direct construction jobs and also indirect, the people that work for the companies that are helping to support that construction effort, with payroll impacts of $456 million. Once the hotel's up and running and operating annually beginning in 2013, it's anticipated that the hotel and convention center will generate $383 million in economic output, 3,000 jobs, 2,000 jobs on site, another 1,000 jobs in the surrounding community, because there's so many companies that Gaylord does business with and that help provide services, right? Transportation companies, taxis, the people that provide linens and audiovisual support services and things like that. There are many, many jobs that are created around as well. It also has a positive economic impact in terms of the hotel market, which is almost a little counterintuitive, but in many of the markets where they are, they're the biggest source of referrals to other hotels, because frequently a group will come in and they won't have enough beds to accommodate everybody that's coming into that convention. So they refer business out to other hotels. And in some of their recent expansion efforts in other cities, it's been other hoteliers that have been there, those city council meetings, testifying in support, and also at the convention centers and those marketplaces as well. So in terms of where we are, we are still in negotiations with the port and the city on the real estate development agreements and the lease agreements and financing. That process is ongoing, and we hope would be concluded by the fall or so of this year, but that's an ongoing discussion. Of course, made a little more complicated by this incredible financial market and economy that we're dealing with now, so that's just kind of an overview and a snapshot.